Well, here we are. I know we're a little bit late. I know we said 7:15, but we have to come back now. We're live, so here we are. And we're going to speak with Lydia Longoria and talk about, basically a recap of the NRA Annual Meetings, and I guess talk a little bit about the prisoners that were released from North Korea, and I guess a little bit more. So stick around, kick back, and listen to Trend Chat. Episode 97 of Trend Chat. I'm your host, Brian Bledsoe. And if you want to connect with us, whether on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, it's all the same name, Trend Chat 24/7. So, like I said, we're live right now. And I know that this is what's going to be played right now. And what you're going to hear from now on is, going to be the episode. And I probably shouldn't bring this up, but I'm going to. So we were live like maybe 10 minutes ago and we had to come back and come where we at right now, being live again for the same episode. And, like I said, if I never brought this up, days, who knows, years from now, this will just be one episode. And no one will never know about that one 10-minute episode where I talked and then all of a sudden it cut off. But hey, as I said, more than once on this program, that this is, you're listening to me learn, and and I just learned that I need to have everything set up correctly, especially if I'm going to go live, and I didn't. Which messed up what I was going to do, and I had to cut it off. Like, man, can you imagine if I was like really doing, live on a radio or something, like radio station, and that happened? Well, then again, I would have more people. but yeah, it was funny. I don't even know if anybody was listening at that time anyway. For we had to cut off. So anyway, maybe. No one ever even knew what just happened, and I just mentioned it to you. But the only way I think you may find it if YouTube might have it somewhere, even if that's deleted. I don't know. But anyway, no point of getting into that. Like I said, I appreciate if you're listening right now live, and if you're not listening live, I appreciate you listening at all. And like I said, this is episode 97. We're 2 away from 100. So can't wait for that. I'm guessing that could be next week. Well, no. It'd be 2 weeks from now, probably maybe 3 weeks. We might just do one episode next week. So before we get into our interview with Lydia, we're going to just want to talk a little bit about the prisoners who were freed from North Korea, because, that was great to see. And it just made me think a little bit more as far as those congressmen that nominated President Trump for Nobel Peace Prize a couple of weeks ago. And now, you have this happening, and this happening ahead of what's the meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. So who knows what comes out of that? I mean, it's easy to be pessimistic about it because we're talking about North Korea, but still, who knows? And I'm just imagining, because I feel like all we can do is imagine, because even though he was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, I think there's a very slim chance he'll actually win it, not because he doesn't deserve it. It's not the reason why I would say that, because I just feel like the people who are making the decisions for the Nobel Peace Prize are not going to give it to him, or not going to consider anything that he's done to be worthy of a Nobel Peace Prize. Contrast that with Obama, who got the Nobel Peace Prize for literally doing nothing, and for basically just becoming president was enough to be considered to win the Nobel Peace Prize. And so, I mean, if we're going by the Obama standard, then, President Trump should win now. But that's not the standard they're going to hold him to whenever they meet up for it next year. So like I said, I'm pretty sure, I guess, that we can just imagine, and my imagining of what would happen if he actually won, just imagining how the press is going to handle that news. And I can see it right now, that if that were to happen, I can see that you have all the networks and the commentators on there basically try to discredit the Nobel Peace Prize, and try to make it seem like the Nobel Peace Prize has lost its luster simply because President Trump won, or just for the simple fact that it's not the award that it used to be, or try to make it seem like it's not as important of an award anymore just because he won. Because they don't want to, they want to take, every shot they can to make it seem like, well, it doesn't really mean anything now. So yeah, that's all we can do is imagine. I'm thinking it will be a trip if he won, and I guess we'll find out next year when this all goes down. So now, I just want to just bring it up right quick, because I know currently, at this moment as I'm speaking, I think he's speaking in Indiana right now. So I just want to mention that right quick, and let's hear a word from our friends from the Founding Project.
Hello, Trend Chat listeners. If you like the Founding Project's Civics Education video series, Civics for All Ages, and our educational meme series, we think you will love our new website. Join us at thefoundingproject.com and be a part of the civics movement. The Founding Project is a 501c3 education nonprofit. Please join us today.
Yep, and so, before we get to our interview with Lydia, I know I just want to mention, as far as the NRA meetings in general, was just a great experience. It just, this is my second time going, and look forward to going next year in Indianapolis. And, one thing, a lot of times when you're either at the meetings and just, it's really, it's really a lot to try to take in, and it is impossible. And hear me when I say, if you've never been, it is impossible to do everything, at the event, because there are so many things going on simultaneously, not only with the seminars, but also with all the exhibits and the booths having, all their, different events going on at their booth, and it's a lot, but it's fun though. It's great because you just, and Lydia is going to bring this up later on. You just bathe in freedom, and but one thing that I saw, and I'm going to mention this in the interview, I'm going to mention it right now though, is that she has this segment called 27 Words, and I just want to mention it now, is that 27 words, and I'm not going to really get into it now because she's going to explain it more. But I just want to say that now for anybody listening to really, you know, when we talk about that, I will hope that you would, you know, go to whether it's NRA TV or NRA Women and check out those segments. So before we get into it, let's hear a word from Politichicks, and then also you may hear someone you may know before we get straight into the interview, but I'll let you hear it. Hello, this is Brian Bledsoe, host of Trend Chat, also contributor at Politichicks.com. Here to tell you about the new book called Politichicks, A Clarion Call to Political Activism, with over 300 pages from contributors like myself, talking about topics such as education, social issues, healthcare, the Second Amendment, and of course, activism. I encourage you all to check it out at Politichicks.com, and is also available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
This is Dana Lash, and you're listening to Trend Chat.
Hello, this is Trend Chat, and the NRA annual meetings are over, but we want to talk a little bit about everything that went on. And we have Lydia Longoria with us. She's a Second Amendment advocate.
Hey.
And she's part of a series that is on NRA TV named Love at First Shot. And she has a particular segment called 27 Words, which personally I definitely think you should see. So, Lydia, how you doing?
Oh, I am just living on that annual meetings high. You know how it is. It's like part exhaustion, part super pumped and energized after, you know, being surrounded by so much freedom. So, you know, in other words, I'm doing great. How are you?
You know, I mentioned that in previous episodes about the meetings, and where it's fun, but it's also exhausting because, especially even if you're doing all these interviews like I was trying to do, but even if you're just attending, to go to all of the exhibitors and all that is available, and to experience all of that. You know what? Let me ask something right quick. Now, I mentioned in previous episodes about the floor space, and if I remember right, it was 15 acres of of guns and gear, basically. Now,
Yeah.
is that correct, right?
Yes, 15 acres.
Now, do you have a comparison? Because I had a horrible one when I tried to do it. Is there a comparison that you could give to people that's better than mine, which was horrible?
Comparison. I don't think there is a comparison. Annual meetings is its own beast, you know?
Oh, well, I'm just talking about the size. Like the size.
Oh, the size?
Yeah, like 15 acres would be a comparison to and I was thinking like football fields? Like what? And I'm like, man, I'm showing that I don't know measurements.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I grew up in, you know, small town Texas, and so like 15 acres, like people, you know, lived on 15 acres, but in order to get around, we had to use like four-wheelers and golf carts. Like you couldn't walk it. There was no way to walk it. You had to like use some kind of like off-road vehicle. And so to imagine the fact that people walk through 15 acres of just madness, but awesome madness at that, is kind of mind-blowing to me. And my feet definitely paid for it, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. And I walked it twice, well, at least around it. I didn't walk like the whole 15, but I walked like the perimeter of it.
Yeah.
So as far as everything that went on for the past 3 days or even more, is there anything in particular that's really sticking out for you as far as your experience?
I mean, other, you know, first of all, having President Trump and Vice President Pence under the same roof, you know, at the same event giving speeches was, you know, first of all, it was history. It was pure history, and it was wonderful. But, you know, Brian, I gotta say, you know, hearing Tucker Carlson, you know, host of on Fox News, hearing him speak at the NRA Women's luncheon and auction, man, that was an experience I will never forget. First of all, I'm a mega fan girl. Like, I nearly flipped. I could not keep my cool. I was telling my dad, and my dad was like, okay, so calm down. But, you know, he just has such quite frankly, it's almost relaxing. He's very well spoken, but he's also very relaxed and relatable. And for me, his message was it was energizing and relaxing and energizing at the same time. He made me want to keep fighting and keep going. And man, Tucker, he's a man. He is a man.
Now, see, you know, given that he was at the women's luncheon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, us men weren't able to be witness to that. So that's
Yeah. Are you jealous? I know. Girls only. It was a girls club for sure. But NRA Women, what can I say? We're a fun bunch.
in general, NRA Women. I don't know how much exposure is it really getting. I wish it, that it would get more actually, because it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a group that definitely needs to be highlighted more. And with the show Love at First Shot, which you are a part of,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of bring it back to this segment that you do called 27 Words. Now, I just mentioned that people may not know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to let you describe. So, what is your segment about?
Yeah, so 27 words obviously is inspired by the amount of words that are in our Second Amendment. And basically what I do over the course of 6 segments in the 6 episodes of season 4 is I break down, a few kind of key phrases within that Second Amendment. We go through the whole entire Second Amendment, but each phrase is broken down. And I do I do what I like to call cocktail speak. I had a really great professor once who was an economics professor, and she said that her one goal was for us to be able to go to a dinner party or to, a cocktail hour or out with, our parents. And her one goal was for us to be able to not only understand and engage in conversation, but also to help others learn. And so that's kind of what I aimed for. I broke it down in ways that are, not meant for a constitutional scholar. It's for an everyday person who may be confronted at a party or at dinner, and being able to arm them with the knowledge and the ability to defend and discuss in a educated manner our Second Amendment. That was very important to me, and I don't think there's a lot out there that does that. So if you are trying to learn a simple yet effective way to explain the Second Amendment, please go check it out. 27 words. Love at First Shot.
Well, I must say she definitely taught you well, because that is a great segment. I mentioned it to you once already and again right now. And, it's something that before the annual meeting started, I tweeted about that this needs to be shown, kind of like how they show all the other clips of this and that. Because I think what you're talking about was basically what the NRA is defending. and
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's
Exactly.
just something that definitely should have been I should have saw your face on like these screens all around the exhibit floor and at the forum in between speakers. I felt like it should have been there, because I think more people, if they would have saw that, they were like, yeah, rock on. You know, that's exactly
Yeah.
what we need to hear as far as an explanation. And I mean, it's not like we don't know, but it's just great to hear someone put it so concise and, like you said, to be engaging and to, help people to learn more. So,
Yeah. And that's the goal. And I'm glad. Thank you so much that, that means so much to me that it's it's reached you and that you've appreciated it. And I just hope that, we can help, and even people who don't necessarily agree or really understand or, get the Second Amendment, I hope that they watch and that they learn something. It's educational. It's not an argument. It's pure fact. It's pure education. And I think that's what really makes it stand out.
yeah. Now, um, I, I don't want to dwell on the negative, because it's not really worth it. But I do want to bring up, there was some little negativity about this, which I don't understand how, because you basically was talking about the Second Amendment. But there was some sort of criticism from some publication. I don't know. I think you may know the name. I don't really care. But 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 they decided to say that, that you were brainwashing, or it's weird. Actually, I'll let you get into it, because as little you want to talk about it, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, so the magazine, it was Elle Magazine, which is a very popular, fashion and makeup magazine that somehow felt like they needed to dive into politics for no particular reason. I really don't like to have politics on my, as a side to my fashion, but apparently they decided that was an idea. Yeah, no, it was an online article written by some lady who I don't really know what else she does with her life, but essentially the article, and it was about Love at First Shot as a whole and NRA Women, and it talked about how our NRA Women's programming was, scary and setting women back and blah, blah, blah. And it's so funny because, like I said before, 27 words was fact. It was actual fact. There was no opinion interjected into that whatsoever. It was legitimately just laying out every phrase of the Second Amendment and what it means. So I was really confused as to why she was drawing all of these conclusions from something like that. But these are the same women. If I could just talk to this lady, first of all, I'd love to just sit down and have a conversation with her about why she feels a certain way. But in my opinion, this is the kind of women who are setting us back. They're not, they call themselves feminists, but Brian, they're setting us back. These are the same women of the party of the Bill Cosby's and the Harvey Weinsteins and the Bill Clintons of this world. And how dare this woman criticize and chastise me and all of the other wonderful women in NRA for our method of defending ourselves against these liberal men. How dare she, And so I found her piece to be absolutely ridiculous. It was misogynistic, and, it made no mention of any of the NRA women, Kimberly Corbin, Amanda Collins, Christy McManus, all these women who have defended the millions of women who have firearms and the many women who have used a firearm to defend themselves and their family. So, you can't win them all, I guess, but, this is what we're up against, and this is the fight I'm up against, and I am more than willing to take it on.
Well, I would say that's enough on her. So, and also, but I'm also thinking, if I'm not mistaken, that Dana Lash tried to, try to have a dialogue with Alyssa Milano, which I don't think that didn't go through that, to my knowledge, at least it didn't.
No.
No, okay.
Yeah, she's crazy. Alyssa Milano is crazy, but she's like I said, can't win them all. She's gonna wash up Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
I always joke that, like, people are trying to make a quick buck off the Second Amendment. That's what they try and do. But
that's what I'm noticing. Yeah, that's what I'm noticing a little bit. It's just like they're just jumping on to the trendy thing right now. So now I'm gonna ask something that's maybe difficult to try to describe, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, the past couple episodes we've been talking about, the NRA Annual Meeting, and I want to ask you, if someone that's listening right now never been to an NRA Annual Meetings or have no clue about what's been going on, what I've been talking about, and why I'm at this event, tell them, give them a description as far as why they will want to come, and what they can expect.
Well, what I like
know.
to say, and this is not to tie back into my Didn't Love It First Shot, but what I like to say is, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? You can take a picture of NRA Annual Meetings and it'd be worth 1,000 words, but to me, it is worth 27 words. It is the absolute picture of the Second Amendment. It is just freedom. You walk in and you just feel the freedom pulsing through your veins. I swear to you, the energy there is phenomenal. The people are so nice. They want to educate you. They want to talk to you. They want to show you the coolest guns and gears. But it's also just a really great place to learn. And that's one thing that people think that you come in there and you just, you walk around looking guns, but like you learn so much when you go there. I learn something. I take something away every year. Plus, you get all these awesome people under one roof. We have the president and the vice president. You have Dana Lash. You have all these congressmen. Ted Cruz was there. It's just all these Benghazi heroes, these military heroes, these wonderful women who are, fighting for the Second Amendment. It is a place unlike any other, but it's like Disney World at the same time,
Yeah, it is just. Now I know we use the word a lot, and I think it's overused, but awesome is a good word because of talking about how much how much we're talking about here, and it's really hard to comprehend and to describe honestly. Last year was my first time in Atlanta.
Really?
So it was it was overwhelming as someone that has never been, and the only gun show, I guess if you want to call it that, in that scale, was just your local ones. Now, even the ones in Dallas are somewhat big, but still, nothing compares to this. It's like we're talking about 10 times as much as far as displays and exhibits and all that. So going into on that exhibit floor last year was just like what I just couldn't believe what what I was seeing, because in my mind I was thinking I was just gonna see, okay, this is gonna be like an exhibit hall full of guns, which there were guns, but the thing about it, I was just thinking about it was just gonna be guns. I didn't know the specificity of it all and how customized you can make, a firearm, and how you can break things down by hand in particular.
I don't know if you knew this, they are one of the fastest growing demographics of not only gun owners but concealed carry holders. So getting and reaching that community and bringing them in is so important to me. I know that when I first started my journey kind of into concealed carry, I didn't have that. I didn't have any women to look up to, and I'm so fortunate to now have this group of smart and funny and just pure, genuine women to help me. And I hope that I can be of help to someone else and bring someone else into this community. Aside from NRA Women, we do have programming specified for women, but it's for everyone. Love for shots for everyone. You enjoy my segments. It's for any social media, NRA Women on Instagram. You might see some behind the scenes and some sneak peeks, but it's going to be a fun go around. We're incorporating some more pro shooters this year, which is great. We already have Julie Golub, who is the world champion. She's from Team Smith & Wesson. She's amazing. And then Natalie Foster, who's our host. But we're bringing in some more, we're kind of mixing it up this year and bringing in a lot more pro shooters, as well as some amateur and some novice shooters. And I obviously fall into that category. I am not a competitive shooter at all. But I'm really excited. It should be a really fun episode. We started filming. We will film into the summer, and hopefully it'll be releasing in the summer as well. So get excited.
Yeah. Can't wait. There is a lot of programming. You guessing just going to be at the Indianapolis Convention Center? I'm just guessing over the date.
I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea. So, but I'm ready to take Indy by storm. Let's go. I'm already ready for next year.
Yeah. I'm already thinking about, going there and doing it all over again. So, Lydia, it's been great. I appreciate you coming on. And again, if people want to know more about NRA Women, NRA TV, or Love at First Shot, or get in contact with you, all of that, how would they do that?
So you can follow me personally on Twitter and Instagram at Lydia Longoria. And you should look up NRA Women on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's just at NRA Women. And then I encourage you to look up NRA Women's programming on NRA TV, as well as NRAWomen.tv. So there's a lot of places you can find me and a lot of places you can find NRA Women's content, and I highly, highly encourage you to check it out.
All right. As I will say, you are the best Longoria, and I would, that, and I just leave it like that because, I don't care who other Longorias she's the best one. So, so I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yep, and thanks to Lydia for joining us. And that is, I guess you could say that's a wrap for the NRA annual meetings until next year. So, as I said before, it was a great time. I know as far as what other events this year that we're planning to go to. I'm a delegate in the Texas State Convention, which is coming up in June, but I'm not gonna. Well, let me not say that. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna do any interviews. I'm pretty sure I might do some. I don't think I'm gonna have that much because I'm gonna be really focused on doing business in a sense. But maybe we might have 1 or 2 episodes, maybe at least one talking about it. What's going on at the convention, at least one. So that's the next thing. And then after that, actually, we just got an email from the Texas Tribune to inform us that the media registration for the Texas Tribune Festival is up now. And so, if you want to apply, and so we already applied for that. So I'm guessing we're going to go to that, and that's in September. So, but all of that is in the state of Texas. So I'm pretty sure we're going to, as far as events goes, we're going to be all Texas centric. Next year, we don't know about, as far as CPAC next year, we really don't know about that one. I know we've been there the past 3 years, but the next year, I don't know. It's really up in the air. But we are definitely planning on going to the NRA meetings in Annapolis next year, and that's in April. So I don't know why I'm going all so far into the future, but I'm just thinking out loud, actually. But I appreciate everyone listening, and it's something I don't say enough. I need to say it a lot more. If you like this show, like it, share it, subscribe to whether it's iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, or on Spreaker. Definitely Spreaker. Without Spreaker, you won't be hearing me at all. So, but yeah, if you like what you hear, and share it with your friends, and like I said, share, subscribe, all that. I guess I kind of feel like I don't want to feel like I'm trying to pressure you by saying that all the time. I guess that's probably one reason why I don't say it a lot. But I guess I need to just put it out there that, that really helps us as far as, if you're liking an episode, or subscribing or following the show, click on follow and all that. So that just really helps us as far as getting recognized. So that's all we have for this episode, and for the NRA annual meetings. That is it. So next week, I have no clue when. It'll be either Tuesday or Thursday, but what we'll be talking about, I don't know. I actually have somewhat of an idea, but it's something I have to work out myself. And so hopefully that'll work out, and we'll have something on Tuesday. But once again, appreciate y'all listening. And until next week, we'll chat with you later.